Well, happy holidays, Amazonians. It is your boy, D-Wizzle. Thank you as always for tuning back to the channel. This is episode 10 of the D-Wizzle podcast. And today we'll be continuing on in our journey through the DC Extended Universe, Worlds of DC, whatever floats your boat. And today we're going to be journeying into the world of Themyscira. I'm so excited to talk about it. We're going to be talking about Wonder Woman. So if you guys are new to my channel, thank you for tuning in. And if you guys are returning, you guys know that we reviewed Man of Steel, Batman v Superman, Dawn of Justice, and Suicide Squad. If you guys haven't watched those videos, I'll leave links in the description below so you guys can watch them. Joining with me today, returning to the podcast, we have fellow YouTuber Shannon Jeffrey.
Hello.
We also have her sister, Tara Jeffrey.
Hi. So awkward.
And we also have fellow YouTuber Outrageous Plays X.
Hi. Oh my god.
Okay. Alright, so before we begin, there's some things that I need to address. Yes, I know, we're late. We're very late. By the time you hear this podcast, everyone has seen Aquaman by now. China released it a month ago. They've already seen it, and critics saw it like 2 or 3 weeks before it was released. They got reviews out there. So we're going to be seeing it with everyone else, with the regular people, opening weekend. So yes, I know we're late. But it's been very frustrating. There's just been a bunch of scheduling conflicts going on, stuff that was out of my control and out of other people's control. So we're trying our best to crab these movies in before we see Aquaman. So after we're even going to see Aquaman after we do these podcast recordings. So we'll be seeing it right after. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to try and upload this video and Justice League. I'm going to have them up by Christmas, so you guys will have a nice Christmas present. You have 2 for the price of 1. You have Wonder Woman and Justice League up there. And then we probably have to release Aquaman in January because, the holidays are coming up and everyone wants to spend time with family and work and all that. And also, I've been a bit behind on movies. I just saw Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse. I haven't seen Mary Poppins. I haven't seen Bumblebee. So I want to watch those. And then I just want to focus that holiday week to just work on the best and worst movies of 2018 so I can upload those videos. So we're going to try and have Aquaman up as soon as possible. Hopefully that'll be a good thing to kick into the new year and all that stuff. So yeah, that's what I want to say about that. And also, I know I said in the Suicide Squad podcast that I was going to do an all-women's panel for this. So some of you may be wondering, why is Outrageous here? He's not a woman. Okay, so here's the thing about that. I tried to get a women's panel for this podcast. I put an open invitation out there for any girls, any women out there, comic book fans, or just fans of Wonder Woman to be on the podcast. And guess how many people responded? 0.
Hey.
Well, I reached out to you and Tara because I knew you guys were going to be on it, but I just wanted more people. And I also tried to get Crimson Amazon on the podcast, but once again, she had scheduling conflicts too. As you guys don't know, she's a mother now, and so she has to deal with, baby stuff. So stuff came up. Yep. Yay. Beautiful little Emmy. Hey. So I tried my best to get everyone here, and I pushed back the podcast as much as I could, but now we're at cramming time, as you guys can see. So thank you guys for being patient with me. I wouldn't be able to do all this stuff without you, and I also want to thank Shannon and Outrageous and Tara for doing this, because I know it's been a hassle the past couple of weeks getting all this stuff done. So love you guys, but anyway, that's enough of all that. You guys ready to get into this?
Yeah.
Alright, so we will hit you with this awesome trailer, and then we'll be back with our spoiler-filled discussion on Wonder Woman. Right, Wonder Woman. So this movie was released June 2nd, 2017. This is the 4th film in the DC Extended Universe, and also this is directed by Patty Jenkins. So, if you guys have watched our previous podcasts, you guys know we really enjoyed Man of Steel. We love it. One of the best DC films out there. Batman v Superman, more of a mixed response. Some people liked it, some people didn't like it. I thought it was an alright start to the universe, but needed some improvements and work out the problems. And then Suicide Squad, I didn't like it all. I know Shannon and Outrageous thought it was okay, but I just thought it was a mess. Then it's just worrying too much about course correction and yada yada yada. Don't want to get into a ramble about that. So at this point, DC is like in panic mode right now because none of the films up until this point had a fresh rating on Rotten Tomatoes. A bunch of people are just hating the universe. People just wanted to just end right here, reboot it already. And even though all the films up to this point were financially successful, Man of Steel made a lot of money, Batman v Superman made the most money out of all the other films, and even Suicide Squad made a bunch of money. And it's even an Oscar winner. Suicide Squad is an Oscar-winning movie for I think special, was it like makeup design?
Yeah, it was
costume design. Yeah. So honestly, it's like, even though it's horrible that it's getting really bad ratings, they really shouldn't be paying attention to what people think about it, because it's financially it's a success. But like I said, everyone hated it and they didn't want to see anything else from it. So as far as Wonder Woman is concerned, I am a fan of Wonder Woman. I wasn't the biggest fan of her, but of course, I knew a lot about her because she's part of the Trinity with Batman and Superman. They're three most iconic characters in DC, so there's no way I couldn't know anything about her. But, I didn't follow her as much as Batman and Superman. And Gal Gadot as Wonder Woman, she did surprise me in Batman v Superman, but I thought she kind of got lucky there because she didn't have as much to do as the other characters in the movie. She didn't have to carry anything. She just had to come at the end and give awesome action sequences and fighting with Batman and Superman. So I thought at that aspect she pulled action sequences really well. Her delivery was fine. I mean, it wasn't bad. She delivered it better than I thought, but I'm like, it still needed some work. So I was still apprehensive on Gal Gadot being Wonder Woman. Patty Jenkins, she's a great director from what I hear. I haven't seen anything that she's done. She did a film called, I think it was Little Monster or something like that, and like apparently people really like that movie. So I was interested to see what she would do with Wonder Woman. Also get a female director, because there's not a lot of female directors in Hollywood today, so I was very excited to see how she would do it. And then let's see, the San Diego Comic-Con trailer that was released, I think 2016, I believe. That trailer was awesome. Pretty much most of my concerns going into this was like put to rest when I saw that trailer. It looked so amazing. The action sequences looked great. Gal Gadot looked pretty good. The other casts looked great. So I was very excited about it. Though I was worried that, since they were doing course correction on the DC movies, that they were just going to make this film fluffier like they did with Suicide Squad. And I saw like glimmers of that with, Etta Candy in the trailers. I'm like, oh my god, why is she here? And then Chris Pine was casted as Steve Trevor. And I'm a fan of I'm a fan of Chris Pine. I loved him in the Star Trek movies, though I felt like the only reason he was cast was to be like insurance for Gal Gadot in case she wasn't good in the movie. Like, at least you have like Chris Pine to help carry some of the performances. So that was my main concern. And also, they've been chopping up the DC films up to this point. They chopped up Batman v Superman. They chopped up Suicide Squad. So it's like, what's stopping them from chopping this movie? Especially because there has not been a successful female-driven superhero film ever. Supergirl was terrible. That's the worst DC film I've ever seen in my life.
I loved it.
Catwoman was terrible.
Okay, stop.
It was awful.
Boy, stop.
Elektra was awful.
Okay, I haven't seen that one and it looked
It
awful.
is a snore fest.
I mean, if they just tried Supergirl again or Batgirl, then I mean they are gonna try Batgirl, which I'm.
Yeah, and I think they're gonna try Supergirl at some point, which I'm not too excited about at the moment.
I want to play Batgirl.
You hear that, Warner Brothers? Shannon Jeffrey wants to play Batgirl.
Volunteer.
You'd be a better Supergirl than Batgirl.
What?
I want to be Miles Morales.
She's blonde. I'm not that blonde.
Well, Jason Momoa is not that blonde either, and he's Aquaman, so I don't think it matters.
I'm gonna be Miles Morales.
Nice.
Why not?
I love that.
Why not? And now I want to be Frieza in Dragon Ball Z. But anyway,
Yo.
so
You can be whatever you want.
yeah, so I didn't have confidence that Warner Bros was going to let Patty Jenkins and her vision, let her do her vision. I didn't trust Warner Bros to do that after Suicide Squad and Batman v Superman. So I'm just like, okay, the trailers look great, but they could chop up a whole bunch of this movie. They could play it too safe because they probably don't trust the female director, and they don't think female-driven superhero movies will, be successful on a critical and financial standpoint. So I'm just like, okay, let's just see what happens. So, actually, I actually don't want to start this. I'm gonna have the women speak first.
Oh,
actually,
golly.
so I'm gonna start with Tara.
Yes.
What did you think about Wonder Woman?
I have very mixed feelings about it. I can't tell if I like it or if I didn't like it, honestly. Just because, I don't know. I think the biggest issue I had with it was really maybe the casting. Because, I didn't have a problem with Gal Gadot.
Gadot.
People say everything.
I
I
know.
said Gadot.
I had no
Gadot.
problem with her, and I had no problem with Chris Pine, but spoiler alert.
This is a spoiler discussion. If you guys are watching this, it's a spoiler-filled discussion. But anyway,
Ares, being the same guy who played Lupin in Harry Potter, was just really wacky to me. He's very old British man with a white mustache, and it just seemed really, really weird. And making him look all buff and everything, it was just not right.
yeah.
Is the werewolf again?
All right, Shannon, what did you think about Wonder Woman?
I have to be honest. When I first started watching, the first 15 minutes of it was really entertaining. I was really interested. I loved, just the scenery, really cool
Grace is
warrior
pretty.
women training together. Wow, that's amazing. I really loved that. It was really enticing. Enticing?
Yeah.
Enticing.
That's a good word.
Yep.
I loved it, the first, quarter, at least. And then it started to get, a little bit draggy. I think by the time when she got to, what was it, London?
Mm-hmm.
I think I started to slow down my excitement from there, I think. But, I don't know. In terms of casting, I loved Gal Gadot, which I didn't think I would. I think she did a really good job. She's someone who wasn't considered in Amazon yet.
Right.
So she was still a really good fighter, and she was still destined to be someone, but at the same time she wasn't yet seen by the queen as an Amazon or anything, so she still had those insecurities. And I think she did a really good job at playing that. But I have to admit, I was not ready. I did not want to see this movie. And, as someone who, as a woman who really wants to see female characters, who loves Scarlet Witch, who loves, well, I
Black
now
Widow.
love Black Widow.
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't really like her at first, but I now really like her just because, she's a strong female character, and I'm craving that more. But,
Captain
even,
Marvel's coming out too. So.
yeah, that's pretty exciting. But I just feel I don't know, I'm so tired of hero movies, and I'm reluctant to say that because I love hero movies. I love Marvel, I love DC. But the thing is that I don't want so many of them thrown at me. I don't want 2 or 3 a year. One a year from either Marvel or DC would be nice.
Yeah, slow it down, Marvel, please.
Yeah, but
we don't
they're
need
both
3.
and they're both throwing movies at each other. No, mine's better. Mine's gonna be great. Watch mine. And it's so many of them are being thrown out where I'm like, slow down, like I'm
Right.
way behind. And so I guess I just wasn't really like all that excited. Like the trailer looked amazing. I was so excited to see it when I saw the trailer, but then once it came out, I was like, no, I'll see it later. Like I was like I wasn't ready. Like I didn't feel
She
like I was
wasn't
ever gonna
ready.
Yeah.
No.
I mean, the same thing happened with Ragnarok when that came out. I was like, I'll see it later, like I didn't think I was ever going to see it, but I finally saw it and I was really glad that I did, so it's like I feel like people like me who have that problem where like they don't like all of the films coming at us at once, we're going to miss out on something really cool, and I think Wonder Woman was really cool. I just think the timing was a little bit poor. Maybe like if they pushed Justice League further back, or maybe they pushed Wonder Woman, like spread it out from, because like it happens like literally like a year after Batman vs Superman, right?
Yep.
And within that year that was between those two movies, like all that time we were thrown like Marvel movies, so it's like you don't really ever get a break. If they're able to spread it out more. I just wish there was like one magical world or universe where Marvel and DC would communicate with each other and be like, hey, we gotta give our audience a break a little bit, like
Maybe in 85 years.
yeah. When y'all want to release a movie, we'll release it the next year, but like I don't know.
I don't have a huge problem with like making women superheroes.
I
Like
love
I'm not
that.
like a big person on it. I don't really care if there's more male superheroes than female, but I don't think that they should push an agenda during the movie because that
Yeah, I
just
agree.
breaks the immersion for me. Like I'm
Yeah.
fine. Like if they want to make a Wonder Woman movie, that's fine. But like I don't think they should push a political or social agenda on
Yeah.
the
Right.
audience. I just want to watch the movie and enjoy it and be like, that's a cool superhero and she's a woman.
Yeah.
So now I'm convinced.
Right.
And with that, it's like I feel like that goes with a lot of movies. People watch political documentaries to be informed. You don't necessarily watch a film that you want to watch to stay away from reality, to be informed about reality. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So like I feel like too much of it is not a good thing. At the same time, films are supposed to teach us a new perspective and a new way of looking at people. So I think women, of course, love female superheroes because it's like, wow, these preteens are going to see these superheroes and look up to them, and like understand that they make mistakes too. And like, they're going to have a story that they can relate to, and it's like, that's really cool. But I think that's the lesson we need. Not necessarily women over men, but I think we definitely need a good balance of heroes, like in terms of male heroes and female heroes, you know what I mean? So I agree with you, Tara. It's just like... But it's so simple to pass that message along with a female story, Where it's, you have a female superhero who is independent and doesn't need a man, and
But she had a love interest.
but he died.
He did.
He did die.
Spoilers.
He didn't die. But
I'm
yeah,
awful.
that's true, Tara. That is true, though. Yeah, that's why Kitty Pryde movie, cough cough. I'll play Kitty Pryde. It's totally cool.
Can you
Would
make a
be
good
really
X-Men
good.
film first?
Yeah, that's true.
X-Men 1, X-Men 2, X-Men Last Stand. That's all I have to say.
Stop.
Garbage,
I'd
garbage,
be
garbage,
okay
garbage.
I'd be okay for a reboot, but like later, after all of this Infinity War stuff like ends, like I don't know,
Endgame,
maybe a reboot.
Endgame.
Yeah. Oh my god. Taylor Swift knew. She knew. Taylor Swift is Thanos.
What?
Yeah. Before we get to outrageous, general thoughts. I do agree. I feel like I'm of two minds about the comic book, media as a whole. I think now I think this is the greatest time for comic book fans when it comes to movies, because we didn't think like back in early 2000s that we would even have this many characters have their own live action film, let alone have a cinematic universe.
Yeah.
And so it's just, I think it's just fantastic that, you know, these characters that I grew up reading, all of them are given a chance to have, you know, their own movies. Though I do agree, there are so many comic book movies coming out a year now. Marvel has gotten so successful that they feel ambitious enough to release 3 movies at a time. And then DC is still trying to make 1 or 2 movies a year.
Aren't they making a Sirens movie?
A what?
A Sirens movie.
It's Birds of Prey now. I don't know about Gotham City Sirens at this point.
No, I heard that they were doing that.
There's a lot of projects that they said they're gonna do.
I'm actually happy for
They
that.
just announced that they're doing a Plastic Man movie, and I'm like, why?
But all of this
He's
is
going with
just,
Superman.
it's affecting their films, and then they're throwing all of these really cool superheroes who have a great story and would be great in as a standalone film, and they're like throwing them all at each other at once, and it's like, but I'm too tired to watch Wonder Woman, I'm too tired to watch Aquaman, or I'm not even a fan of Aquaman or Wonder Woman, to be honest. I wasn't
that's
like as
fine.
a comic, but like I do, but I don't know, I do like her persona, and I think she's great as a standalone. The thing is that like, what are we going to be left with? We already, you know, we would see Wonder Woman and Aquaman, and then after, like, on the Marvel side, we had already seen, you know, Captain America, Spider-Man, who else? Like, Thor.
Well,
like,
here's the thing about
everybody.
comics, though. It's like, yes, we've seen many characters now, but
Multiverse.
there is 20 times more characters that they haven't even touched yet. We're about to get Fantastic Four and the X-Men in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. And then with DC, it's like they only touch the surface, as we know. So it's like...
But we're going to be left with Inhumans, Squirrel Girl, like...
Yes!
Oh my god, please, no!
All of these weird...
Well, here's the thing. It's like
a giant talking dog. I mean,
yes, but it's like you could thank Guardians of the Galaxy for that, because if that didn't happen,
it's gonna happen.
I mean,
if you reboot Fantastic Four and it works, and you have Guardians of the Galaxy, what are you gonna do? You're gonna make an Inhumans movie. I swear.
Yes, you
it's
are.
It's gonna happen.
Burn it.
And it's like honestly, we will sit here and I can sit here and say how much Squirrel Girl would be stupid live action, or Inhumans will be they didn't do it right and stuff like. That's what I said about Ant-Man, for goodness sake. I hate Ant-Man, but I like those movies. So, I believe they can do anything at this point, really. They make me love a talking raccoon and a tree that says 3 words. So I'm like, I can believe a giant pit bull that teleports people. Like, that's not out the realm of possibility at this point. You can have a freaking walking jalapeno shoot laser guns at people, and I'd be like, if he's a good, compelling character, well-written, I'm with it, bruh.
You said a walking what?
Jalapeno.
Jalapeno?
A walking jalapeno.
Okay, then why don't you want Squirrel Girl?
I just don't like that character. Same thing with Ant-Man. I just don't care about that character. I don't give a shit.
She did?
She took the Infinity Gauntlet. She warped everything. She said,
okay, I want a Squirrel Girl movie.
I do too. Oh my god.
Let's do it.
So, I don't know. And I don't even want a black...
Oh my gosh. Can you imagine if she shows up in Endgame?
I would die.
She just saves
Why would that?
everyone.
No one would know who she is.
Yeah, real comic fans would know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, but how'd
I
that
would
work
know
for
if
people?
there's a girl with like a giant tail.
No, yeah, that's her. She has
But
spoilers in the giant
there's
tail.
no point in her just showing up in Endgame because there's no.
Yeah, she doesn't progress the story.
She does.
I mean, she did go to Iron Man and was like, "Hey, I'm Squirrel Girl. Can I help?" And Iron Man's like, "Get lost, kid." And then Squirrel Girl was like, "Hang on, I'll help you." And then she like helped him like without his permission. And then like he was like, "Oh, wow, you're good, but like go away."
That's great. Anyway, it's like, getting back to the point of what I was trying to say, it's like, I think it was such a breath of fresh air that Aquaman was the only DC film that came out this year. I think it helps to let the films breathe. And so by the time Aquaman came, I'm like, oh, I'm missing a DC film. I'm so glad one's coming out soon. Instead of being like, okay, we just got to do this Batman v Superman thing where Superman just died and all this stuff is happening. Wonder Woman and Aquaman and Flash and everybody's being introduced. Oh my god, overwhelming! And then a couple months later, oh, here's Suicide Squad, and you got this ragtag team or whatever. And then a few months later, oh, here's Wonder Woman. We're getting ready. And then wait, Justice League, end of the world, new gods, parademons, Superman come back to life, cats and dogs living together, pigs flying. Like, come on.
I think I get it. It's just I feel like, you know, people in filmmaking nowadays, and I feel it. I mean, I don't know if this is just
an
a
assembly.
thing.
It's an assembly line at this
It's
point.
excitement. It's too much excitement. And there are a lot of creators who are like, I want to make this. I want to make this. I don't want to stop. I don't want to stop. But then the problem is that the audience are like, wait, you know, like hang on,
Hold on, time out.
Yeah, and
we're about to have a Spider-Verse come out because Venom was successful.
yeah,
Who thought Venom was going to be
I knew it
successful?
would be successful.
I knew too.
I had my doubts, but
Dude,
I ended up
okay.
liking Venom. So I'm like, we're going to get a Spider-Verse some point. Into the Spider-Verse is getting critic love, and I'm sure it's going to make a lot of
Of
money.
course.
It's the best Spider-Man
I'm
movie
so
ever
excited.
made.
I want
So
to see that one.
it's like, yeah, my inner comic book fan is like, yes, give me more. I want to see more, but at the same time, just pace it out better, I guess. But anyway, we're getting off topic. Outrageous! What did you think about Wonder Woman?
Gal Gadot killed it.
Yeah.
They should have focused more on Wonder Woman's character, her origin. They said, "Oh, I was made by Zeus." Should have did the flashback, expanded more on that. Fight scene should have been better. I don't need, excuse my French, an old wrinkly white dude being the main villain.
Yeah.
I don't need that, bro. So I mean, other than that, I really did enjoy the movie. Slow motion pissed me off.
Yes, I forgot to say
I
that.
didn't.
And there was no blood. Okay, look. I know it's PG-13,
We'll get into that.
but at
We'll
least
get into it.
sprinkle a little bit of blood. You know, with PG-13, they could show blood, not gore or whatever.
Dude.
I just slow
It's-
motion was overdone.
Yeah, it's one thing
Yeah.
I'm frustrated about with PG-13 because PG-13 pretty much means PG in this society today.
It
When
doesn't,
PG-13 used to borderline be R.
No, yeah. it
In
used to
Infinity
be-
War, I'm glad it reintroduced, hey, this is PG-13. We're actually killing people on screen and making you watch. So I'm like, yeah, they could have had more blood. Even Black Panther had more blood than Wonder Woman.
No, it didn't, bro. When Killmonger did that, there was no mark. There was no blood, bro.
But remember
That
when he was
explained.
when he was getting his ass kicked when they were doing the ceremonial fight? There was blood everywhere, and Killmonger, bruh.
They ran out of that in
Right.
the budget.
Yeah, that's
Just
not
ran
in the
out
budget.
of
That's not in the
blood.
budget.
Yeah, just kidding.
Michael B. Jordan.
Yeah.
Maybe they didn't have enough footage, so they wanted to compensate.
What do you mean enough
make
footage?
the film longer by adding slow motion so
Oh
often.
my god.
Well, when they're complaining about runtime, I'm like, I don't know why that's a problem.
I'm kidding, but
But anyway, it's what were you? What?
oh, I was just gonna say about slow motion. So
Well, hold your thought on that. We'll get into this. We'll get into that.
yeah.
Okay, I just want to stay on track because we got to get through 2 podcasts.
Not left-handed. Sorry.
I'm trying.
Oh my gosh, yeah, she's writing stuff now. But so I did not expect this response from you guys. Honestly,
What?
I'm
We
kind of
all loved
surprised.
it.
Oh, you didn't seem like you did. You were just like, yeah, I liked
it's
it,
not
but
a
it's
movie.
like it's not
Oh.
great. I was expecting you guys to be like, oh my god, this is amazing.
Bro,
it's
it's
one of the best films ever made.
It's a movie I have to watch every other weekend. I can't watch it constantly, bro. I
Who
can't.
does that?
Yeah, because
Me with certain
yeah,
movies?
with certain movies.
I'll probably have to cleanse myself of all superhero
Exactly.
movies, then watch it again, then I'll appreciate it even more.
Yeah, I'll be honest. I felt like mentally exhausted after Infinity War because I just felt like there was so much Marvel thrown at me. I'm just like, I'm so glad I get a little bit of a break. Actually, no, we didn't get a break because Ant-Man and the Wasp came out a couple months later. I'm like, I need a break. Slow down. And then we forget Captain Marvel's coming out. I forget that sometimes. I'm not even that excited about Captain Marvel. To
Neither
be
am
honest
I.
with you.
X-Men.
X-Men. But anyway, I'm just like, I do feel mentally exhausted at this point, so I'm like, I do get it. But yeah, I was just expecting you guys to be like, well, because everyone loved it. Everyone's saying it's the best DC film ever made, and it got 90% on Rotten Tomatoes. Everyone just loving it, so I didn't expect this response from you guys.
I think it
But-
was a good DC film. Like, when you watch something and you don't account for the fact that you're sick and tired of it, and you're just watching it as a film. I don't know. I think it's easy to appreciate something, you know? So
Right.
when you're watching it in the theater, you're just going to say to yourself, oh, this is just a really good film, you know? But then when you look at, like, overall perspective and see how it's surrounded by, you know, like, I don't want to go to the theater and then one theater's playing, you know, Marvel, and then or one side of the theater is playing Marvel and the other side is DC, you know? It's like, I feel like that's happening a lot.
Right.
And
And that's why I keep saying that you cannot rely on the formula of Marvel, since we're getting so many comic book films. They can't all copy Marvel, because you're going to kill the market faster if everything is the same. Anyway, I didn't even say my thoughts about Wonder Woman.
back to Wonder Woman.
Yeah, so the first time I saw it, I was in love with the movie. I thought this was a great step in the right direction for DC. They proved me wrong about having a female-driven superhero film. Gal Gadot completely surprised me, and Patty Jenkins did a good job directing the movie. Watching it recently, I still enjoy it quite a bit, but I don't love it as much as I did the first time. I'll get into my reasons. It's just I just felt like it was a bit fluffy for me. It's like, I mean, I'm okay with fluff, and I'm not expecting Wonder Woman to be, Batman v Superman and Man of Steel. I didn't walk into being like that, but I just felt like, as far as the stuff that I can relate to character wise and just the overall emotional weight, I didn't feel like there was as much there as the previous movies. But I do feel Wonder Woman did something that the other movies weren't able to do as well, and that is the balance between the darkness and the hope and optimism. I feel like there was a little bit more humanity in this movie than the previous three films. I thought they did that really well. Gal Gadot proved me wrong. She was great in this movie.
You doubted her?
I keep telling you. I mean, I know you guys haven't seen the Fast and Furious movies, but that's the first thing I saw her in, and she wasn't good in those movies, and she looked nothing like.
Animatronic, bro.
Yeah, she looked nothing like she did now. So I'm like, this was a terrible casting choice. Why would you choose this person to be one of the most iconic characters in media, period? And she completely proved me wrong. I don't know if it's just Zack Snyder's and Patty Jenkins' direction on her, or she just wasn't given the material, good enough to work with. But it's like she actually showed emotion without even talking. Just the way she just emotes by just looking off into the distance or reacting to what people are saying to her. It's like you just see the emotion in her eyes alone, and I just feel like that proves to me that Gal Gadot is a really good actress. So I thought she was great as Diana.
Who would you cast as Diana if you had to, and it wasn't Gal Gadot?
Jamie Alexander.
Who?
Jamie Alexander.
Megan
I
Fox.
completely I feel like Gal Gadot would be better than either one of those. I feel like.
I mean, yeah.
Or
Wait,
was.
did you say Megan Fox?
That's a Megan Fox.
Megan Fox.
Yeah, that's a Megan Fox.
Okay, that's I don't see that at all. She was in the Thor movies as Sif, so that's probably not gonna. Jamie Alexander.
Oh, I thought you meant
So,
Megan Fox.
No, she was in the Transformers movie and Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, so that's not really a great impression either.
Yeah, it was a great impression
Also,
for me,
she's
Brian. It was great for
horrible
me,
to
Brian.
work with. No one wants to work with her.
Yeah, I'd rather not have
I don't
that.
understand Jennifer's body. That's all I have
That's
to
probably
say,
the best
bro.
movie she's been in for her, but
That
still
movie
not great.
freaked me out.
But Patty Jenkins is really good director. She did really good with this film, from the direction, the cinematography, the story. Well, Zach had a hand in the story as well, but and Jeff Johns, I think. But yeah, I think she just had a really good hand in the script and the story, and just having us be invested in the characters. And I guess I'm going to disagree with you guys on the action scenes and the cinematography, which I guess we'll get into more later. But it's like I actually liked the slow motion, and I mean, it's just a little thing that I like with films. It's a certain thing that I like. I know not everyone likes. I like the lens flares in Star Trek, but I know everyone thinks it's too much.
Oh, I love that.
But it's like with slow motion, that's what I just like to see in film. I liked it in Watchmen, and I liked it in Batman v Superman, and I'm just glad that the Wonder Woman didn't completely abandon the style that Zack had. So she was able to incorporate it in here. It's like, oh, she was able to do action really well. This is the first action movie that she's done, and I thought she did really well for the most part. The cinematography even feels different from the previous movies. It feels more vibrant, a little bit more colorful. There feels like there's a little bit more life to the environments. And
Yeah, that's a lighting choice too. Everything in DC is so dark.
yeah.
And this was a lot more, like you said, vibrant, especially from the very first frame.
Yeah,
in fact.
freaking Themyscira. It's so beautiful. It's so amazing. It's so well realized. I just loved how much detail they put into Themyscira. This is the world building that I love in DC films.
Yeah.
And then all the Amazons. I love the Amazons. They're really
They were
cool.
so pretty.
Yeah, I know.
So
There's
cool.
like different diversities and different, ethnicities. Yeah, I think that's what I'm trying to say. Just like the overall world, I love it. Pretty much that's how I would picture Themyscira in live action. Getting to more of the characters, Hippolyta, Diana's mother, I thought she was really good. She had some really emotional moments with Diana and other people on Themyscira. There's some stuff with her character-wise that kind of bothered me.
I have one major issue
What?
about the queen, her mom.
The queen!
The queen. But the thing is that, like, she was very, like, protective, like, don't train her yet, like, all this stuff like that. But in, like, the beginning, right, when she was about to leave to London, it was London, right?
Yes.
Okay, I keep forgetting.
Yeah.
When she was going to leave, the queen comes up on her horse, and she's like, "You can't stop me." And the queen's just like, "Yeah, I know, I can't stop you." And I'm like, you made a huge argument about how she's not an Amazon yet, and now you're like, darn, you have the sword, you have a cape, you're getting ready to go on your boat, I guess I can't stop you. Like,
But you better
no.
not come back!
My mom would be like,
You better
"Oh,
not come
no."
back here.
Yeah, my mom would be like,
Hell
no,
you
no,
going
no,
out
no.
there without a jacket?
But yeah,
I mean, I don't
her,
know. My
her
parents would be
motivations.
like, I said no,
Yeah.
grab my arm, pull me back in the house, and be like, go put your PJs on,
Like I found some of her motivations weren't consistent. It's like, for one thing, most of the Amazons on Themyscira have been trained to fight in case there was danger that came. Except she didn't.
Die.
Yeah, except they didn't want to train Diana. But why? Don't you want her to defend herself? I mean,
They made one statement about that.
yes, because like they don't. If the more she trains, the more she'll be realized that
Discovered.
she's a demigod and defend against fight against Ares or whatever. But I'm just like, there could be other threats outside of Ares that they would have to deal with, and it's just you want your
Like the Germans.
until it wasn't. But it's just like I don't know why you wouldn't train your own daughter. We would want her to defend herself. It's just it felt inconsistent. Did you want to say something there?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, honestly, I think it kind of shows how, like, just too protective her mom is, obviously, but also, Zeus her mom made Diana out of clay.
Yep.
And then Zeus granted it because she's supposed to be the god killer.
Right.
She's supposed to be the one that takes down Ares. But her mom was just so overprotective of her and just kind of, I don't want to say innocent. She's not innocent, but like, what's the word?
Is it naive?
Yes, naive.
Okay.
She's just naive about it. And like, she she obviously knew that she's supposed to be the god killer, but she's still not doing what's right for her people and like training her daughter until she's like what, 18 or something,
Right.
and which just honestly could have brought down the entire world if Diana wasn't so courageous.
That's actually the one problem I did not have. Like, I did have a little bit in the beginning. It's like I had no idea how old Wonder Woman was.
Oh, it's like
Or how
over
old
100,
she's supposed to be.
180, 200 years
But
old.
how old was she supposed to be? Like,
That's the one thing about Greek mythology. It's like some of their stuff is not really consistent. I never know like how old these like
But she
gods or demigods
aged.
are. Demigod, I don't know. I just never understood the mythology behind it. I just never fully got
Bro,
behind it. But-
Okay, so Terror brought something I forgot of. That was the biggest amount of BS I've ever heard. The God Killer is a sword. So they go from it's a sword to you are the
You
sword.
are the God
You
Killer,
are the God
which we will
Killer.
get
I
to
mean,
in
what?
that third act because oh my gosh, but yeah, I just didn't understand. I mean, I still like Hippolyta, but I just wish she was more consistent. Let me talking about Kid Diana.
yeah.
Okay, I know people think that's oh so cute and adorable, but that was just so. It felt odd.
Yeah.
I don't know. It just didn't felt consistent with Diana when she was an adult, and I know they change a lot from kid to an adult, but it just felt like it felt very hokey, and like you literally start the movie with her just running around with the mascara and then jumping off a cliff for no reason because oh I'm happy, and then the mother just catched her right at the second floor. I'm like,
Didn't rip her arm out of her socket.
yeah, because they're Amazons, they're powerful, but yeah, that was kind of hokey for me. And then talking about the history lesson with Zeus bringing her to life by clay, that felt really rushed. Like you just literally say, "I'm made out of clay," and Zeus brought me to life. Moving on, and I don't know that whole thing when they're just literally throwing exposition at you with this. Oh, let me read you the story about when you were turned into clay and the history of Zeus and Ares, which is really to tell the audience what's going on. So I just that felt a bit clunky for me, but I guess I thought it was a creative way to do it because they did have an art style when she was telling the story. So
Are we gonna
that was
talk
kinda
about
cool.
the old dude, the main dude,
What?
the main dude that was with her?
Oh, speaking
Chris
of,
Pine?
He
well,
pissed me off.
actually, before you do that, before we do, I want to talk about I don't know how to pronounce her name, Antiope,
Yeah.
Antiope.
huh?
Antiope.
Antiope. I feel bad if I said her name wrong because I actually thought she was really good. She's the one that trained Diana, and
She's from Princess Bride.
I told
Yeah.
you that.
yeah, I love
I
Princess
told her
Bride.
that.
Oh, she didn't know that.
recognize her at first.
I did actually.
Wow, Shannon, she's from Princess Bride. I didn't know. Thank you for telling me. Oh my god.
You're so welcome.
Wait, yeah.
Don't ever listen to Tara.
Yeah.
I'm just kidding.
Yeah. I thought she was a really good mentor to Diana. I just wish there was more time with her before she died.
Yeah.
But yeah, I really liked it. She was like the only person there that wanted to train Diana and actually show her the truth. And so I thought she was pretty compelling.
Because she knew her sister was being naive and stupid.
Right. Exactly. Okay.
Okay, bro. Chris Pine was so helpless.
Hold on. Okay.
He's human.
Now, Steve Trevor. We're gonna talk about Steve Trevor. I thought he was
What
great.
is that?
I thought Steve Trevor was great. Outrageous. I thought he was great.
It's my cat.
Though I'm a Chris Pine fan, so I knew I was gonna like him regardless. But it's like I thought he actually was a really good character. He wasn't just insurance for Gal Gadot. He actually was, helped complement Gal Gadot. And yeah, very cute. I think this was a better portrayal of him than I saw in the comic books because in the comic books I didn't care for him that
He was
much.
jokes.
Yeah. And did you guys? Fun
yeah,
fact before
those
we
a
get to
lot.
more into Steve. Did you guys know that Joss Whedon did a script for Wonder Woman a long time ago?
You did.
Yes, and it was probably one of the worst things I've ever read.
Wow.
Steve Trevor was an asshole in that script, and I'm so glad they didn't use anything from that. He is so humble. He's sincere. He's genuine. Yes, you feel like he has to make those hard decisions, but it's like he's doing with good intentions, and he never belittles Gal. He never treats her like just another woman. He actually treated her like an actual person.
Except in the very beginning, where he told her to stay hidden behind the rock, and then he went out.
Yeah, and that's only because he didn't know that Wonder Woman is very powerful. So that's
Yeah.
just a natural thing.
Other than that, he was helpless throughout the entire movie. During that war scene, dude, I don't remember if he picked up a gun or not. Dude was helpless. He pissed me off. Diana. I mean, what?
Wow.
It's above average. I mean, what is this, bro?
I thought that stuff was cute. The little.
You thought that was cute?
Yes, I thought that was cute. A little bit of
That was
the chemistry between Steve and Gal were my
That
favorite
wasn't
You
parts.
call that
Chemistry?
chemistry? Someone looking at your
Yeah.
penis?
That's
She
just
didn't
one
know
little
what it
thing.
was.
She said, "I've studied the human body. I know what that is." I mean, what?
Anyway, yeah,
Okay.
some of that stuff was silly, but
Okay.
I'm a fan of some romantic comedies when
I
they do
am
silly
too,
stuff
bro.
like that. So that just really, you know, I had a smile on my face whenever they were on screen. I just love the way they interact with each other. Even like the first time that Diana saves him from the lake, and she's just astounded at what he's looking at. Like, that's a man. And Lily, once again, she didn't have to be like, what is this thing? No, she's acting with her eyes, and then she's like, she
She had
says
a Little Mermaid moment.
exactly Little Mermaid moment. And then, you know, just the fish out of water stuff I felt was funny. You know, just like you said, like, what is that? And that fake out being like, it's a watch. Like, yeah, like he's not looking at your penis. You know, we know that. She's looking at your penis, but anyway, just like, you know, the way you know, Steve's trying to teach her about the human customs and stuff like that. I just thought some of that stuff was cute. It was once again kind of hokey, like Kid Diana. There was just it was very fluffy and stuff, and I'm just like, okay. I feel such a difference from this Wonder Woman and the Wonder Woman in Batman v Superman and Justice League. Like, I know there's a progression. She does, you know, she's gone through a lot between those times. And, you know, we don't expect her to be the straight up badass that she was in BVS. But that being said, Diana is a dork in this movie. She is such a dork. Some of that stuff was cute, but then some of that stuff I'm just like, okay, you're just being really silly. Like, oh, a baby! I'm gonna walk up to this baby. I'm like, oh, stop. And then she's like, why are people holding hands?
She
Because
is
they're
a
together. And then,
Amazon.
I mean, I get it, but it was really dorky. I don't know. Some of that stuff was cute, but some of that stuff was a little bit too much for me.
Some of it I compared to Thor in the first movie.
Yeah.
Because they're both
Yeah.
from different worlds and they
Right.
come to Earth and they're like, what the heck is this? And she's like, what is this? What are these clothes? You can't battle in these clothes.
Right.
He's like, what is this coffee? And he's like, give me another.
You don't sleep with women unless they're married.
Hey, bro, it's about Thor though. It's real quick. Do you remember that short where Thor was during Civil War?
Yeah, I hated
He
that.
tucked in his hammer, bro.
I hated that.
That was.
I hated it.
Watch the show where Thor put his hammer to sleep. He tucked it in, gave the pillow on the cover.
I hated that shit. That's the goofy crap I'm talking about. Why would he be doing that?
During Infinity War. I don't know.
Stupid.
Because it's alive.
No, it's not.
Gosh dang it! No.
No, it's not.
No.
Anyway, since I'm losing my train of thought. Anyway, so yeah, Steve Trevor was being chased by Nazis, and they shot him down in a plane and landed in Themyscira, and then had that whole battle with the Nazis and the Amazons, which I thought was amazing. I love the slow motion. I thought it was
Too
awesome.
much.
It
Dude,
was
when-
too much.
Dude, like when
That's
she
editing though. That's not like cinematography. shit.
editing stuff, but yeah, just like when one of the Amazons was shooting the bow and arrow with the string, and then she used it to like swing off of it and shoot an arrow. And I'm like,
Oh, that was cool.
that was awesome. And then the bullet, like when
That was
shooting
too
the
much for me.
Amazon, I'm like, that was awesome.
The only slow motion I wanted to see was when she did that slide talking about
Yeah, I thought that was kind
that
of
was sweet.
yeah, that was alright. I thought that was a little bit clunkier than that, but
I love your reenactment. Outrageous.
but yeah,
Can
so
you do it again over here, Mike? Just kidding.
he's not gonna see it anyway. He's not gonna see it. They're not-
Just for us.
They're not gonna see it. But yeah, so you have that whole encounter with the Amazons and the Nazis, and then they're questioning Steve Trevor with the lasso of truth. They actually make the lasso of truth look cool, and I thought that was going to look silly as hell, but they actually made it really awesome. They using
Because it was fitting.
right.
I never thought of it as cheesy.
I thought it was cheesy. That and the invisible jet. I'm like, why does she have an invisible jet? She can fly. But anyway, but yeah, they're using lasso truth to get answers out of Steve Trevor to find out that he's a spy working for London. Also, did you guys notice that he doesn't have a British accent, but he's from London?
Yeah, I noticed. That's why I'm so confused. But like,
Wait, which one? Is
Steve Trevor.
No, he's not. He's American.
But why is he
He's
in
American.
London?
He's a spy. He was recruited by Britain
Right.
to be a spy.
to be,
Oh, okay.
I've only seen this movie twice.
You only seen it twice?
Yeah, bro. And that was months ago, bro.
because that was World War One.
I'm sorry.
Yeah. So anyway, they're interrogating Steve Trevor, being like, let him know about the war, and they don't know about World War One, the war to end all wars. So Gal Gadot's distraught at this, and she thinks that the cause of the war is Ares, and so she's on a mission to stop Ares. She steals the Wonder Woman uniform and the sword and the shield, and takes Steve Trevor and take him to London to find Ares, because she thinks that'll possibly stop the war if she kills him. I knew from the get-go that wasn't that simple. It's never that simple.
What are your thoughts on the side characters, whatever the freak they were?
I will get to them. I thought the uniform in this movie looked better than it did in Batman v Superman. It was a little bit like more colorful, a little more shiny, and yeah. I just this is a small little thing. When she pops up in the uniform to get Steve Trevor, and she freaking scares her, she got her leg up like that. It kind of made me laugh. But it's like fun little moments like that. Just being like, nice outfit. Thank you. That's all we need. But yeah. So getting to that, they get to World War One in London. One little like aesthetic thing, a little attention to detail that I actually appreciated. You see Themyscira being this colorful, like, amazing place, and then they get to London where it's more gray and drier. I think that's a really good storytelling, being like London is not as peaceful as Themyscira, and you see it in the cinematography, so I like the little details on that.
It's color scheming.
Yep.
It's kind of like in the Matrix, how it's like the Matrix is one color and real life is another.
Yeah.
Or Inception, they kind of had something like that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's contrast of color scheme. That's why you always have to pay attention to color, people. Set design is for a reason. Lighting is for a reason.
Exactly.
Editing is for a reason.
All right, so let's get to what started to be not so great about this movie, and it's the villains, Dr. Poison and Ludendorff.
You talking about that girl with that mask on her face?
Yep.
Dr. Poison. Yeah.
Yeah. There's
Not
some
good.
cheesy serial villains from 1962. They're like literally like they're like henchmen from Red Skull or something like that. They were that over the top, being like, we're going to create these bombs and we're going to kill everyone and win the war finally. It's literally that, and I'm like, oh my god.
No. I'll get you next time.
I found the formula, and it's going to be devious. I'm like, oh my god. It's so cheesy. And Ludendorff, who is also Stryker in X-Men Origins Wolverine, he's actually liked him as Stryker in
I did
X-Men Origins
too.
Wolverine. This is a downgrade for me. I didn't care for him in this movie. And then Dr. Poison gives him this like this heroin stuff that gives him some super strength for like 10 minutes.
That's what convinced me that he was Ares too. So I didn't realize that he wasn't Ares until like they said he wasn't. And when he was dead, I thought, oh yay, she killed him, because like I had no idea what the little things were that he was sniffing. I thought that was to keep him from turning into like his true form or something.
Right.
I think that's what it's supposed to make you think, but
It's like a polyjuice potion.
Right, exactly.
Okay, but no, I did enjoy when he sniffed it, the camera would go.
Yeah, the camera shakes.
Oh,
Yeah,
yeah.
that's a nice
Yes.
detail there, I guess. But it's
It's
was just
cinematography.
kinda-
It's immersion, Tara.
I just thought the whole thing was obnoxious.
It was a bit obnoxious. It's like literally, it's like some corny Nazi soldier.
She was on some Bushmaster stuff. If you seen the case,
Right.
temporary pop.
Exactly. So they made this like gas that can, I guess, destroy anything it's in the environment, and I guess it suffocates people whenever they do it. It's typical weapons that they use in World War One, which I think is fine. I guess they just amped it up a little bit more. But I just wish there was a little bit something more. Talking about the World War One aesthetic, I like this. Actually, feels like a war film. Like I felt that was kind of lacking a bit in Captain America: The First Avenger. Like the first half, it kind of felt like a war film, and then the second half just went to this superhero movie extravaganza. But actually, this movie does it too, which we'll get to in a second. But I just love that the aesthetic of World War One. I felt more in this movie. You felt, just how terrible it is to be in this war. People are injured, people are getting sick, people are losing their homes, and soldiers having to, make really hard calls when it comes to who they're saving. So it's like, I definitely appreciate that. You felt weight to what's going on. That, helps balance the cheesy moments.
But you can't tell me that war was fair. They had Diana, and Diana could have literally one-shotted all of them, but she chose to walk while they were still shooting. So,
right. Okay, now let's talk about the ragtag team. Samir, Charlie, and Chief. I like them. They're a nice little team there. There wasn't too much. They're caricatures. They have their own trademark thing. Like, he's good at, with languages. He's a good sniper, and he's good at finding locations. And that was it.
Except he's not really a good sniper, Charlie.
Yeah, he didn't shoot at all.
he, as soon as he had the chance to shoot someone, he couldn't do it.
Right.
I'm a better sniper.
So I don't really understand what happened there.
Yeah, it would have been nice to give him like that triumphant moment, but they didn't want to give it to him. They gave it to Wonder Woman, which I guess is all right. But I'm like, give the other characters, feel like they have a purpose of being here, because it is a war. Wonder Woman can't do it by herself. So
I kind of like that Wonder Woman got to take that part, because it kind of showed how Steve was paying attention when he was watching the Amazons fight, because he said shield, and like he saw the Queen do the shield thing.
Right.
She yelled out shield, and she like killed those 3 guys.
Right. Well, since we're talking about it, let's talk about the No Man's Land scene, which I thought was the best scene in the entire movie. Because for me, why that's so great is because that moment in the movie is where Diana fully embraced her persona as Wonder Woman, and you get to see her in the in the uniform, and that's where she actually fights as Wonder Woman. And she helps empower everyone in the war, because they felt like they couldn't go anywhere because, it was too dangerous. But literally, Wonder Woman made a path for everyone to fight, and I thought that was great. Inspiring others. Like, there's some really good homages to Superman. Patty Jenkins, fun fact, is a huge Superman fan. There's even like a scene that homages the Christopher Reeve movies where Diana and Steve Trevor is in an alley and they get mugged, and it's that whole homage where they shoot the gun and Wonder Woman deflects the bullet with their gauntlets. It's like when in the Christopher Reeve movie where Clark stops the bullet in the alley to save Lois. So I thought that was a really nice aesthetic there. Patty Jenkins, please direct Man of Steel 2. I'd love for her to direct Man of Steel 2. That'd be great. If they don't want to get Zack Snyder back, but I think Patty would be really good for a Superman movie. But yeah, that whole No Man's Land scene I thought was great. It was an awesome action sequence. She was freaking going through buildings, destroying everything, fighting everyone. There's some nice slow motion, had the sparks and everything. That was really cool. However, there's some stuff she was doing with the lasso that I thought was kind of silly. Using it as a whip and then taking it and throwing someone across the building. And then remember that sniper on top of the building that Charlie couldn't shoot.
You talking about the one she jumped up?
Yeah, she literally jumped up and then the whole building exploded. I'm like, What did you do?
So she was legit killing people.
Yeah.
Were they Nazis?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
It's okay to kill people, guys. It's okay.
Not Nazis, Germans. They're not Nazis yet.
Yeah.
Germans.
So it was World
World
War
War
II.
Oh, well, she's
Okay.
well,
Anyway, but yeah, I don't know why
nobody
she
should
had,
kill each other. That's all I'm about to say.
unless it's absolutely necessary. It's war, dude. There's
I
gonna
know
be
it's war,
it's
man.
war. But yeah, there was no reason for her to blow up that entire building. That was so ridiculous. I'm like, what?
She said, "Bet I'm about to show you my real power."
Boom! That was crazy, but yeah, overall that scene I thought was really good. Did you know Warner Brothers wanted to cut that entire scene out? That whole scene, they wanted to cut it out.
Why?
I don't know. That's literally important. That scene is important to her character, and I don't know why Warner Brothers wanted to cut that out. See, I knew Warner Brothers was going to be under some ridiculous crap, but I'm glad Patty Jenkins put her foot down and was like, "No, I'm keeping this scene."
Yeah.
But and then they have some time to relax and I guess kind of celebrate with the villagers that they just rescued, and that's when the lovey-dovey stuff start happening, which once again I thought, yeah, that was kind of quick.
I'm
Literally.
sorry, his character should have died, and I'm happy that he did. I know.
You're gonna get a lot of haters being like, Steve Trevor was amazing. What's wrong with you?
I'm a freaking monster, bro.
Yeah, bro. Yeah, I thought that was kind of rushed. That not only did they kiss, but they probably had sex. They went into a room and had sex.
No,
man.
they didn't.
They went to a room and made out, closed the door. You don't, dude. If you were in a room with Gal Gadot, wouldn't you wouldn't try to tap?
She is a married woman, Dwayne. No, I would not. I would respect her, and I would tell her, "Ma'am, no."
She's married?
Steve.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well,
Oh.
Well, first
kid.
Gal Gadot has married
She
and
has
has
a
a kid.
kid?
Yep, a little daughter. She's
Where
adorable.
have I been?
Dwayne.
I don't
They
know.
did not have sex in that room.
Type in the comments. Did you guys think that Diana and Steve had sex? Comment
Doesn't
below.
matter.
I mean, yeah, it kind of.
I don't care.
Did Simba and Nala have sex in that forest?
Yes. Can you feel the love tonight? Yes, they
We'll
did.
find out in the live action. Just kidding. Kidding.
Or will they?
How awkward that would be, bro, sitting up there with your parents.
Stop watching some lions have sex. We just ruined people's childhoods.
I'm playing, bro.
All right, so now we're, I guess let's talk about Ares and the third act.
I don't wanna.
I don't want to either, but we got to.
Ares could destroy the freaking world, solar system, and freaking galaxy. Got hit by a car.
Yeah, that whole thing was ridiculous. Who was the actor again?
From Harry Potter.
Yeah,
What's the dude's name?
the werewolf.
Lupin.
Lupin. Yeah, Lupin. That was the weirdest casting choice I've seen. I mean, I let Jesse Eisenberg and Will Smith and Gal
Yeah.
Gadot and Jason Momoa, I let them get away because they embraced the role,
Their
and
character.
and then they put themselves into the character. But this right here just felt odd.
Yeah, I was expecting someone kind of like Chris Hemsworth or whatever to be.
Something like that.
Yeah.
But it's just like this old guy with a thick mustache, and just like
Oh my God.
he didn't feel imposing at all. They just throw a lot of effects on him and being like, "Oh, be scared of me." I don't know.
I mean, I think they did that on purpose because you're supposed to be convinced the whole time that Ares is, what's his name? The German.
Yeah.
I forget his name. You're supposed to be convinced that he.
Oh, Ludendorff.
Yeah, Ludendorff. Because he looks like he could be Ares. Like, he has more of a square head versus, like, Lupin. I forget that actor's name.
Yeah.
He has
Right,
more
right.
like an oval. He's very, like, skinny.
Yeah.
But then, like, it just still doesn't look right to me.
Right. I mean, I don't know. I knew from the beginning Ludendorff was not Ares. That they weren't tricking me for 1 second. I'm like, they're gonna play a twist.
I got a question. What would you do if Chris Pine was Ares? I think that would have been.
That would have been more
better.
interesting.
It would.
That would have been more.
would have been upset.
You had sex with me? I'm Ares. Huh?
Wait, Ares and Wonder Woman.
It's like Batman.
Like what?
Batman.
Batman and Wonder Woman?
No, in Batman, the one with Bane.
Oh, The Dark Knight Rises. Oh yeah, with Talia al Ghul.
Yeah, stop.
I forgot about
None
that.
of that.
That was terrible.
I mean, but they did have a son, but we don't talk about that.
Little Damian Wayne. But yeah, Ares, it just didn't fully work for me. So I do understand his message that he's trying to portray. That it's not always black and white when it comes to good and evil. Like some people are just born that way, and there's not like a force that can stop them from doing it. Just people are sometimes grew up bad or naturally bad, and it's like you just have to save the people that that are good. Believe in good. I guess that's what the message he was that they were trying to do. But the message felt clouded by the ridiculous CGI mess that was going on.
The message was clouded because he was trying to freaking kill, and he's talking about
and he's like, good. I didn't start the war. I just influenced them.
He is the god of war.
That was some BS. I'm sorry. You Stitz kind of helped start the war by giving Dr. Poison ideas and whatever. That was just it wasn't working for me. And then that whole, what I did like about it though, because when Wonder Woman thought that Ludendorff was Ares, and then she killed him, and then nothing changed. I think that helped to, progress her character, being like, okay, that this is not the way I thought, but you know what? I'm still going to try and help, even though I can't help everyone. That's what Steve Trevor was trying to enforce in her too, I guess. So I like that progression of her character, being like, I couldn't stop it, and it's not that simple, because that's life. It's not always that simple. But you do the best you can. Okay, and then let's get to this ridiculous fight. This is where I felt the movie started to fall apart.
Yeah.
That whole fight was just so over the top. Okay, actually, fun fact. Before the movie came out, there was these Lego toys and these, just other exclusive toys that came out where they had a different design for Ares, which I thought looked a lot better than what they ended up with. I thought that was going to be Ares. But they decided to just have him take some metal and form his suit.
I thought that was actually pretty sweet, but
I wasn't feeling it.
I wish they covered his face, though.
Yeah, that's the thing. You still see the freaking dude with the big mustache under the intimidating armor. It's taking me out. It's like I don't feel like what I'm supposed to in this fight. Yes, you're throwing a lot of effects at him. He's doing telekinesis. He's summoning fire and lightning and whatever. But it's like there's not really weight to his character that much. Now, I don't think this is the worst villain in the DC universe. As I said, I think Enchantress is still worse. And I even think Ares is a little bit better than Steppenwolf. But that's it. I don't know. Yeah, Lex is still better. Zod is still better. And I give him that edge because of the message that he was incorporating. But like that whole thing was just like, the whole thing with Steve Trevor sacrificing himself. That was one of the most powerful parts of the movie. The way Diana reacted and just like was screaming out. I'm like, oh my god, I felt that.
How come he sacrificed himself?
He went to that plane where they were going to use that plane to unleash the bombs, and so he was going to take the plane up and shoot at the bombs and blow up the entire plane.
How come Diana couldn't do that?
She even said it, let me do it, I can do it. But Steve's like, no, I'm going to do it.
She was also deaf at the time. Like, she just was in an explosion, so she couldn't exactly hear what he was saying.
How is she deaf when she is a freaking god? I mean, what?
She still has, like, the same bodily functions. Her eardrums burst the same.
How come she couldn't say, hang on, I can't hear you, wait 1 minute, okay, what's up?
Because there was no
Because
time.
he had to go now.
There was no time.
She could have still did it. I mean, she killed him, bro. She legit killed him. She's crying and stuff when she she basically said to him, yeah, I don't want to, you go do that, I'm gonna fight her.
Yeah, I mean, I felt it at that moment, but I'm like, they could have
Yeah.
Diana could have done it.
Yeah.
Diana could have
Yeah,
done it.
she-
And then literally the moment is interrupted by more explosions and fire and and then another thing that bothered me about this movie was, let's talk about power scaling for a
Bro,
minute.
stop. Bro,
Let's talk
stop.
about power scaling for a minute.
Yes.
First of all,
Yes, Dwayne, yes.
okay, so in Batman v Superman,
Oh, sweet.
Wonder Woman has the God Killer sword.
Mm-hmm.
And Ares destroys the God Killer sword in this movie. So
Yes.
how does she have the God Killer sword in Batman v Superman?
Oh, because this movie took place in the past, and Batman v Superman was after.
Yes, in the past, Wonder Woman, Ares destroyed the sword,
I
and
don't
she
know.
has it in Batman v Superman,
Oh no.
which takes place after. So how does she have the sword?
How come
She
Ares?
welded it back together.
Yeah, I mean no, because we may see in the new Wonder Woman movie, but how come Ares was beating up Wonder Woman, but
Oh, wait.
Doomsday is stronger than Ares? It doesn't make sense.
Doomsday is not stronger than Ares.
Why
So
do
how
you
is
think
Ares
so?
beating up that? And also, so Wonder Woman unleashes her lightning powers and destroys a god. Destroys a god. How come you couldn't do that in Batman v Superman?
Because she didn't. She got them from Ares.
Yeah, but we're
Oh well, this is back in the
this is back
19.
in yes,
yeah,
exactly.
That's true.
And it's like, if anything, like Wonder Woman could have used her gauntlets to take Doomsday's ray and incinerate Doomsday right then and there or
Well,
something.
But I don't get this though, bro. Because I'm not going to debate, but I think Doomsday is stronger. Why couldn't Wonder Woman pull all that crap out on Doomsday? You should say, oh, he's an alien from outer space. He's really strong. Let me kill him real quick. No.
Yeah.
Batman.
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 Even though he didn't do much in the Doomsday fight either, but
He really
yeah, it's
did.
just there's not consistency when it comes to power levels. Because like, if she's able to do all this, she should be able to do it in BVS. So I think that was just another one of different visions from directors. Like, it wasn't fully consistent with what Zack wanted to do, and that's the whole thing, that they want to be a director-driven cinematic universe, which it doesn't add up with everything. You know, even David Ayer wasn't fully consistent with Zack or Patty. So I'm like,
Okay, I'll tell you something else about power levels.
What?
You remember in the alley when she was doing all this,
Yes.
dodging the bullets?
Right.
If she got hit by a bullet, how come she couldn't catch him? So apparently, she gets hit by a bullet, she's dead. That's it.
Yep.
You can't argue that, bro.
pretty much. All right, so I mean, I was gonna talk about this more, but you pretty much alluded to this more because everyone's like over the moon about this movie. I was gonna ask the question: is this the best DC film?
Watchmen.
It's
Man
a
of
good
Steel.
one though. It's a really good one though.
Yeah,
Dark
I
Knight.
Batman Begins.
Dark Knight.
Batman,
No.
Dark Knight.
I love Batman Begins. I'm
Batman
sorry.
Begins
I
is
love
what
it.
it's at.
And I love Man of Steel, and I love Watchmen.
Okay, then we're totally 50-50. You guys say Batman Begins, Tara and I say Dark Knight.
Yeah,
I say
I mean,
Dark
Scarecrow,
Knight and
bro.
Man of Steel. I don't say
Scarecrow.
just Dark Knight.
Scarecrow.
I like Man of Steel, kind
yeah.
of.
Watchmen.
I think I mean, we're gonna get a lot of hate on this, but we think Man of Steel was a better structured film than Wonder Woman.
It was.
and the
Definitely.
villain was better, and
I love that.
there was more emotional weight.
He
Yeah,
got his neck snapped, Terror. He's dead.
But love the character.
yeah. I mean, Wonder Woman is still a great character, and I want to see more from her. And like I said, Gal Gadot proved me wrong. So I definitely don't think this is a bad movie by any means. It's a very enjoyable movie, but I think this movie's a little bit overhyped because people just don't like the dark tone, and that was never the problem with the DC movies. I don't want everything to be sappy and sitcom-y and dorky, you know? Even though some of the dorky stuff that I liked worked, it just felt like it was a bit too much.
Wait,
And-
so this movie had a dark tone to you?
in
what you-
some moments, but not all of it.
Okay, because what you think of as dark, I think of as normal. Because every DC movie, I don't see dark.
I don't
see
either.
normal, for real.
Yeah, I don't see it. I mean, if we praise the Dark Knight so much with how great of a movie is, nobody was talking about how dark and cynical that movie is. So the tone.
Lots of people talked about how dark the Dark Knight is.
I mean, the darkest DC movie by far is Watchmen. You don't see every day Rorschach freaking.
Yeah, nobody complains about how dark that movie is. So tone should never have been the problem. But yeah, just overall, it's a good movie. It's just not a great movie. So the only thing to talk about is the Wayne Enterprise Easter egg at the beginning of the movie. I thought that was a nice little touch. They didn't have to tease other characters or set up Justice League or whatever. It feels like a standalone movie, which is what I appreciate. There wasn't even a mid-credit scene, so I thought it was good. And yeah, I think that's pretty much it. So I guess we're gonna go to grades now. Overall, I was pleasantly surprised with Wonder Woman. I think it's a very enjoyable film. It's probably the best and only good female-driven superhero film we're getting so far. Gal Gadot was great. Patty Jenkins was great with directing. Chris Pine was great. The villain could have been better, but I enjoyed the message, and I liked that it had more sense of balance, and I loved the emotion, like the emotional moments that it had. The mascara was beautiful. Amazons were badass. Dr. Poison and Ludendorff suitably over the top. But overall, I'm going to give Wonder Woman a B+.
Ooh.
I give it a B+. All right. Shannon. Oh, well, okay, we can go to Mike. Go ahead.
We'll go around the table.
Go on the table.
A B minus.
A B minus. Oh my goodness. Ooh.
A B minus. I mean, that's fair.
I mean, yeah, that's fair.
It's not a C plus. It's not a C. It's not a F. It's not a Z, bro. It's a B minus.
Wow.
B minus would scare you out of honors college.
All right, Tara.
That's a rough
Honestly, I was
score.
gonna say a B minus too.
Oh,
What?
Wow. I really did not expect this.
I didn't really like too much. Like I said at the beginning, I didn't like the casting very much, but it was mainly like the characters. I didn't like Dr. Poison, or
Thank you.
I didn't like any of the bad people.
Right.
That's half of the characters for me.
Right.
So
Yeah.
Shannon.
Shannon.
I'd have to, on a filmmaking perspective, not character bias or anything like that.
Right.
I guess I would do a B based on form and structure. You don't need that many slow motions, and I know that's coming from a Marvel fan saying too much slow motion.
All right.
I think it was a little bit, not in the beginning, it was fine. But
I do get when people say it's too much, because there was one every 20 minutes. Just for me, I just personally like that. I think that's cool, but I get when people saying it's too much.
I think it's just like close-ups. There's a time and place for it. You can't use close-ups. That's why you use medium shot most of the time.
Suicide Squad
close-up. Yeah, so it's like it's just I don't know. Just think about how often you're using slow motion and why you're using slow motion. What do you want to make sure your audience sees? Is it just because it looks cool, or do you want to see your audience, like, do you want your audience to see the bullet going to the Amazon? You know, is that why you're using the slow motion? Or is it just because it looks cool, you know? What else was I going to say? I don't know. But, yeah, I love the color, especially in the beginning. You know, just looking at everything was super cool. London was kind of nasty, but, like, whatever. It's fine.
Etta Candy was funny. I forgot to talk about her. I thought she was going to be terrible, but I actually kind of liked her.
Once again, I didn't like the villains. I liked Wonder Woman. I liked Gal. Yeah, I think everything that I would, you know, like, that I didn't like, I would probably rate a C. So, and then everything I did like, A. So
good balance. B.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, that's our thoughts on Wonder Woman. What did you guys think about it? Did you guys love it? Did you guys hate it? Did you guys think it was okay? I never heard anyone that hated this movie.
Yeah,
so
everyone loved it.
probably everyone's going to be over the board and questioning Tara and outrageous and Shannon, like, why do you not love this movie? It is a masterpiece. A+.
If y'all got something to say, subscribe to me and leave it in the comment section.
Yeah.
Right. Subscribe to Outrageous Plays X and Shannon Jeffrey. And then
Follow Tara on Instagram.
Tara on Instagram.
Facebook and all that.
No. I don't have Facebook.
So the next podcast we will be doing is the big DC culmination team up Justice League, and it will answer for its sins. Thank you as always for watching. If you guys enjoyed, don't forget to leave a like, comment your thoughts, and subscribe to the channel if you want to be updated on future videos and podcasts I'll be doing. Thank you as always, and we will see you guys in the next podcast. And talk to you guys later.
Deuces.
Bye-bye.
Bye.